Мы продолжим разговаривать, и сейчас тема для обсуждения — это open source community и вклад Positive
Open source community and investment of positive technologies in the development of this community.
руководитель департамента разработки.
Dmitry Nagibin, the head of the department for the working station and servers.
Первые буквы каждого слова.
If we will reduce the first letters of every word,
Сергей Гордеевич,
what it's going to be? Hi, Dimin, and Sergey Kardeshik, General Director of CyberRock.
Смотрите, мы будем говорить об open source.
Okay, let's see. We are going to speak about open source and about investment of positive technologies into this story.
Вообще для
And I have a question since the beginning.
успешных больших компаний вроде бы как
For the successful public companies, it's not usual to invest into open source products.
того, зачем
So let's begin by speaking about why do we need to invest into this from the positive technology side.
Ну, ты сам
I'll
знаешь,
be the first one to reply.
мы отпраздновали 20
You know yourself that this year we have celebrated 20 years of the company,
большой опыт в области
and we
информационных
have accumulated very big experience in the area of informational security
решениях. И поэтому
and embed security solutions.
поделиться своим опытом,
That's why we want to share our experience, our technologies with the community and give them the possibility to develop their own product, give them the possibility to bring something new from the enterprise market, the best what is available there in different other spheres. These can be spheres about the business volumes. This can be SMB, SME segment.
сегменте, это наш
And
домашний рынок,
We work in large enterprise segment. This is our home market. We've always been there. We always will be there. That's why
возможность нашим
we
заказчикам,
want to give an opportunity to our clients
потому что такой вызов мы сейчас
to be
видим
more
со стороны
protected, because this challenge is available from the side of the market, from the side of different
угроз становится
situations which are happening around us, and we see more and more threats around us. But small companies
ну и вообще, в принципе, наверное,
have the feeling,
что безопасность
and practically all the companies have this feeling, that security is very expensive.
это дорого в поддержке, это
It's difficult to invest it. It's very expensive to support it, and partially it is a truth. For enterprise companies, it is very expensive. But we would like to break this trend. We would like to show that security can be affordable for any company,
выходом нашего решения
especially after production of our solution, our technology on the market,
плоскость в комьюнити. Мы хотим
in the public area, in the community.
вот эту вот тенденцию, которая
We want to break this trend, which previously was moving in the direction of making some complicated, combined things to make it maximally
по enterprise-ово.
enterprise.
Вот сейчас
Like.
мы предлагаем очень легкое решение, очень легковесное.
So right now we propose a very easy solution that we would like to develop together with the community,
в том, чтобы
and our vision is that the community would get a certain usefulness from it and could invest into it by transferring its own scenarios, by transferring its own ideas that are available into a certain platform which is available in the public hub for downloading.
Я с удовольствием, я скорее
Sergey, maybe you want to download something?
исходным тезисом о том, что
Well, I will disagree with your initial thesis that big, large companies,
работать с
давай
open
так
source в
уточним,
России,
в России.
да, на самом
they
деле,
don't work with open source.
на том, что
Well,
сегодня
half of internet is built,
source достаточно.
and even Microsoft contributes to open source. And for us as a company oriented on this source code, it's a big challenge because,
Mail.ru,
speaking about the general IT story, there's a mail.ru,
Arena Data, которые делают
there's Yandex, there's Arena Data, which has good open source assemblies. But when we've tried to find some
eBay-индустрии, это был челлендж, потому
some companies in
привыкли компании.
IS industry, because the companies are not used. They used to work with open source only one directionally, to take something for themselves, repackage and sell it.
При огромном contribution
And this joint release, which was created with the big contribution of open source technologies and something that is happening right now, I think this is a big step.
безопасности в России,
Big step. When the industry of security in Russia, they should understand that open source is the bi-directional road, not only taking but also giving.
об этом,
And this step that we are making, this is the beginning of a great friendship and the first step in this big pathway. So I would like to call each one of you who are interested, please join the consortium and start writing this open source together. But how can we find it? where can we join it?
обратной связи. Также у нас есть
GitHub has the possibilities of, we also have the open page with the control.com.
все контакты получить там.
You can go there
А давайте
and get all the
поговорим про
contacts
продукт,
there.
собственно.
Okay, let's speak about the product.
Чего? А,
Open source code for what?
мы говорим, давай я по буквам прочитаю, а вы
In a given case, we are saying, okay, you tell me how to read it from the SOLDR.
Что представляет из себя эта технология, как это правильно
What
звучит?
is this technology? How it sounds properly, and which functionality will be available in the source code so that one could have the lines of development for the future?
Давайте, наверное, я начну. Сергей, ты подключишься?
Well, I'm going to begin. Sergey will get in touch. SLDR, we read it like SOLDR, and this is a system of orchestration, detection, and response.
Но достаточно
It's a very complicated name, however, it's a very simple abbreviation, memorizable.
позволяет
It's a certain technology which allows us to provide the protection for the end devices, security on the side of this last mile.
и там достаточно много внутри находится механик. Это
And we have a lot of mechanics inside of this technology. In particular, there is an agent and there is a server. So we propose a certain completed framework in order to create our own developments, change it for our own scenarios. Scenarios can be different. These could be content delivery for the endpoint. These could be some logic that will be collecting information on the side of end devices. For example, this could be telemetrics for the analysis, which is going to be processed on the side of the server or on the side of the engine, depending on realization. We also propose our own technology of colorations in telemetric information that is collected on the agent side. It's a freeware correlator accessible out of the box. And there is a minimal set of basic rules for the attack discovery and reaction on them. Also, we have Yara Scanner for the most of statistical checkups. This is more than better solution. It was developed by Google and it is applied in Aristotle. We also take these technologies and we make our own packages from this so that we don't put it to our community and our market.
в данном случае это
And the killer function here is the development of own logins in the interface.
из коробки.
We also show web interface out of the box, and any developer, any expert, any specialist can simply, within first few steps, achieve the result,
То есть ты просто можешь ставить свой
which
функционал,
will apply certain business scenarios. So this is a functionality, and you inbuilt it into a completed web interface. Yes, the inbuilt is done natively from the box.
Ну, что я хотел
Сергей?
бы добавить, то, что
Well, what can I add to this?
увидеть в этом
Honestly, if somebody expects to see
запустить,
ready enterprise solution, take it and launch it,
за которые стоит,
I think it's not the story for which you should come
но
for the current assembly. However, basically speaking, there's a powerful system of orchestration management, and for some companies like SMB sector,
того, чтобы
this might be sufficient so that we can start working with impact detection response without paying a lot of money, without spending a lot of time for implementation on one side, but on the other side,
важно понять, насколько
for us it is important to understand how interesting is this for the community to participate in the development of the knowledge bases. I will make an example which is known to everybody who is involved in security. For example, networking attack detection system, Suricate. It is known from the school, all the security guys, and everybody can write rules on this dialect. But this Suricate assembly, as it is being published in GitHub, it's not applicable to put it in the enterprise solution. Even around them, there's a lot of commercial products and developments, but we would like to create this seed in tech detection and response. It's a new advanced technology. There's other open source solutions, but we want to start accumulating the community of developers, extended knowledge database, and increase it with features which will be added by Positive Technologies, by CyberRock, and by other members of this consortium. Well, if you will compare it with ready box EDR solutions or XDR solutions, which are available from one vendor, mono vendor,
поставить плюсы и минусы.
then how can these be compared, pluses and minuses?
С моей точки зрения,
Well, from my point of view, we are looking at researchers. I call them hackers. This is not necessarily those who hack somebody else's applications. These are people who could use Scotch to assemble anything with it and sticks. And with the proper administration, proper admin resources, we can use these on the level of commercial solutions. But the knowledge base is very empty. We are betting that this knowledge base will be augmented. However, from the other side, we don't have a lot of enterprise features which are useful to big corporations with which they can manage endpoints. Will this be in an open source version? Well, everything depends on the product strategy of the consortium participants. We'll see.
Да, мы хотим, наверное, сейчас сделать некоторый такой
We want to do a certain cement foundation on which we are going to build a big house.
будет строиться, будет там несколько
And how will it be built? There will be several towers. One tower will be 5 floors, another one will be 28 floors. It will be solved by the community. In CyberArk, we have created a consortium which allows us to form the vector of the development of this solution.
имеет свойство менять свои
But this vector has a property of changing its direction.
создали там чат в Телеграме, в который можно подключиться.
We have created a chat in Telegram where everybody can be connected,
Тот инструмент, с которым мы будем
and this chat will be a tool
с
with
сообществом.
which we are going to communicate with the community.
Участника в этом
So
сообществе
any
будет
injection of any community participation, it will be valuable communication, and you can join, as Sergey said, as an expert. To an expert, you can bring your knowledge bases
в любом ее проявлении, так и
and expertise in any of its development, and to other participants, this can be developers, they can come.
мы можем там
And in the core of the product, we can say that we can help you to increase the bandwidth capacity. We can make a less footprint. We can bring you scenarios of security for the agent itself. Self-protection could be made. And all this together is available. We also are open for the dialogue with vendors, where we can have IT solutions. Vendors can be in IT security solutions, and you can enter into this consortium to us. And you can influence on how this vector
вот сейчас вы видите
will make some wide movements. On this screen, you see QR code. You can follow it to our login page. And there are links to GitHub
вот и
and Telegram channel as well.
вендоры, они могут привносить туда свои
So these vendors, they can bring their own proprietary solutions, and the license which is used for the product posting, it's absolutely free from the point of view of entrance of new participants. The core of the product is published under the Gates license, and modules are protected by those contributors who invest their expertise in it. Yes, the license limits commercial usage from the point of view of reselling this intellectual property. However, generally speaking, for non-commercial usage for any companies from any sectors, this is fully available, and you can use it in state companies, private companies, holdings, anywhere else. So, from one side, vendors will be protected by this license, that their code will not be reused in some other commercial products, the compiled libraries, for example, but they will be maximally open to share these technologies and the way how we share them with the communities. So welcome. We are open for any possible communications.
Что
Interesting.
вот, Дим, сначала ты, как вот вендор.
What do you expect? Dima, you as a vendor, what do you expect? In which direction these products will develop from the point of view of community, which you can use in the framework of the positive? And what do you expect as a contributor for the development of this product at the current stage?
Через 3 года.
At a certain period of time, like in 3 years, for example.
Давай, я, наверное, поставлю слишком амбициозную цель и план.
Well, I will have a very ambitious goal.
Этот продукт стандартным
We want to make this product a standard de facto in the area of informational security and endpoint devices. We see that right now in the Western community, And other Western companies, they use alternative solution. It's called Vazukh. It's an open source, some parts of it at least, and it's very popular. But it doesn't have any alternative solutions. So we want to create another opinion to the same problem by giving a possibility of a simpler one, faster one, to add their own expertise, to contribute into Vazukh. It's a very complicated path. Some people pass through it, some people don't pass through this, but generally, we want to have a standard solution which can be customized for any objective. This can be information security, protection of the end devices in telemetrics. This can be an IT solution, inventory, log assembly, some analysis which might happen for the utilization of memory or disk or something else. So you can develop it in any direction. So if you are speaking about endpoint security, you want in 3 years for Soldyar to be associated with endpoint security, and between them you should be able to put equal sign. Good goal, I like it. What about your version? Well, perhaps for me, the success of the consortium, not our product goals as a company, will be the fact that in this consortium, we're going to have 10 or 15 organizations, global organizations, which will be be interested, and B, contributing in the development of the product, and there could be thousands of specific experts who help to this product. And the second thing that we really want this technology to bring those scenarios of usage which we don't see right now, because right now we security guys, we need to catch the hacker, we should disclose him, but there are other ways where this can be applied, and this is more or less understandable but not obvious to us. That's why what Dima was speaking about, other scenarios could be useful, and you shouldn't think only from the point of view of security. It's like evolution. Do you know that you are banana? 60% of you is banana. If you look at the global arena, do we have something similar to this open source solution? Yes, I've mentioned to Vazukh, it's a very popular one, and I will repeat, this is information security solution which is developed for application of certain scenarios. Plus, it's very difficult to customize it for your own needs. That's why we want for our solution to go to another level. We don't want to compete with anybody. Competition is wonderful, everything's beautiful, but specifically in the information security segment of endpoint security and this technology, I think that there is no obvious leader who would define a trend. And by saying that we should do that, well, I will argue with you, and many companies will argue with you. Well, commercial solutions are available. I'm for open source, specifically in this area. That's why we can take the best, what is available in commercial solutions, those ideas which are inbuilt in there, and we can make it maximally proliferated technology which can be used practically in any organization without any limitations. You might have 100 endpoints or 10,000 endpoints. It makes no sense. It has no meaning. You just take this technology and specifically you customize it with your big efforts for those objectives which you currently have in your focus and which are priority number one for you. Sergey? Well, I would like to add that, honestly speaking, yes, these solutions are available. Commercial solutions are available, and who are leaders, who are not leaders, they can fight with themselves. However, from the point of view of the open source, what is important here, open source doesn't mean free and open forever. For example, for a long period of time, they've been developing elastic security technologies, and de facto, they became the standard de facto, and everybody got used to it. And then the licensing policy has changed to it, and the license became toxic, or come to us in the cloud, or if you use this technology, open your source code, which breaks the usual approach, and there's no possibility of entering the consortium, commercialize it, your further activities. So the open source, its openness is not always useful, it's not always attractive. That's why the same Elastic went into a strange zone where it is very difficult to collaborate with them. Bazooka is available, they are good guys, but let's create something else to see diversity, to see different vectors, because in competition we can find something great. Okay, can we speak about the commercial component? For example, there are companies, there's a company which on the basis of this source code can make their own solution. How will we build cooperation? Will it be fixed? Will something be defined, or they just take source code and do whatever they want to do? Well, there are two options. Option number one is what you say, because right now, absolutely non-restrictive license has been published. Any company can take and build their own solutions on it, except for those modules. Well, there are certain modules which are for non-commercial use licenses. However, this is a trick. This is a trick. Yeah, trap. This is a trap. We would like to see more organizations and experts to join this project and work with us. But on the other side, Positive Technologies and CyberOp, we will invest a lot of resources in this solution. And we do hope that updates will be published regularly. If you take this open source and on its basis you try to build something and we build powerful update for this foundation, most likely something is not going to work. So for those of you for whom it's interesting, and for those of you who wants to invest into this, we want to basically, and we have announced that right now we have a consortium. These are two companies, but we will be glad if we will have more companies like this. And when a company comes and invests into this project, into this product and technology, including into the open source part of it, this company has the right to influence the product roadmap, both ours and Positive Technologies and their own, and build this technology together at the same time, commercializing this technology any way possible. Okay, let's be more specific. In order to be able to use this open source product, we need to invest into it. Yes, you can use it. You can take the source code and use it, including commercialization of it and selling it, except for certain modules. Then, if the company wants to influence its future development, it invests into the development. However, certain discussions are happening of certain additional conditions are being discussed. Well, de facto, it's like that. If the company wants to influence the development, if they want to make their own commercial products, well, that's how it works in the open source. There always is some consortium available. If you enter this consortium, you influence the product roadmap, you know what's going to happen in the nearest future in this product, and you have a totally different license than everybody else. So you can develop your own product portfolio, understanding what is going to happen in this open source code, and syncing with other participants. This is very important, because one thing is when the product is developed by one company, another thing is when there are several independent teams, and syncing here can become a key problem here. And the final question to you. Do you expect that main contributors in the development will be guys from Russia, or do you see any specific Western countries which are ready, which will be interested to invest in this? Well, geopolitically complicated question. Well, we do hope to see those countries where there is a good R&D resource and countries which are ready for open development, like China. Well, they work with open source in both directions, and like same Elastic. Don't you have any doubts that they will steal something, will do something of their own, and bach, and that's it? So what if the world will become better because of it? Well, that's it. Okay, that's clear. Of course. If after this they will come back, we've done it, let's do it together. And here's your royalty. Well, royalty, that's most likely, that's the next question. But if this will deserve to pay royalty for, it's going to be success of all successes. There's a lot of examples which show us that when you create commercial product, you created on the basis of open technologies. It's not a secret for anybody. Those products which commercially are successful today, those which are being sold right now, if it is related to web, it is built on in Nginx Apache. It's going to be in Nginx, which is built for the protection of traffic. It's going to be Suricate or something related to these. So there are certain standards in WBR segment which are telling how this can be used. And right now, Yandex ClickHouse becomes a standard de facto, basically in high-load solutions. If you make some solution which writes something into the database, you most likely will use some table spreadsheet, but it has to be maximally optimized for the big number of inserts. And most likely for the time series, you will select data of ClickHouse. So there is a lot of examples like that, non-speaking about Linux, which just became standard de facto about 10 years ago, even more. So there are examples like that, and our example can become similar. We want it to become similar, and we will invest maximum of resources into it. Okay, I think this was really worthy, bold, and timely idea. I know that you know how to develop products, and you know how to attract interest of community to this topic. Dmitry Nagivin, Sergey Gordechik, about how the SOLDR, open source product, will develop on the basis of community from different countries. And once again, let's show this QR code that we've had in the beginning in order to be able to join our community. Here it is. Everybody should give a commit until the next morning. Let's collect 100,000 stars. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. Thank you.